Well, hello guys, welcome back to another video. It is Sneaky Snake here today, and I'm going to be showing you how to get the best and the strongest bow in Tears of the Kingdom. This bow is extremely overpowered because it can basically one-shot almost anything, and it's really easy and quick to get. It just requires a couple of steps, and we will indeed be doing a couple glitches in order to get this bow, and this does indeed work on all versions of Tears of the Kingdom. And I will indeed also show you how to duplicate the bow later in the video so you can get multiple of it, and you can indeed use a bow multiple times. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I'll be showing you the first step. Now, there are two bows you can use to do this with. You can either use a Royal Guard's bow or a Demon King's bow. I recommend using a Demon King's bow because it'll do more damage, but this will only work if you have the max amount of hearts, which means you have to get all the shrines in order for this to work. If not, you can also use a Royal Guard's bow, because that's also pretty good. But first, I'm going to go ahead and get a Demon King's bow. All you would need to do to get this bow is pretty much kill a Gloomhands and then defeat Phantom Ganon. So go ahead and find one and defeat it. I'm currently fighting one at the Akala Citadel ruins, so you can go ahead and do that here. So I did went ahead and defeat him, so you can just get the stuff, and then as you see, we can indeed get his bow. Now, if you want a Royal Guard's bow, you can find it in the top area right here in Hyrule Castle. So you can also just come here, and it should be right here, and you can go ahead and get it. Alright, so for this next step, you will indeed be needing Minoru, and you will also be needing a 5-shot bow. So first things you want to do is go ahead and save just in case you mess up this step, because this can easily go wrong. So first get on top of Minoru, then from here drop the Demon King's bow or the Royal Guard's bow, depending on whatever you're duplicating. Now from here go to your fuse menu, and this is the only little tricky timing part. We gotta press Y and plus almost at the same time. We just want to press Y a tiny bit sooner, so it should look something like this. And if it worked, you should see a green line right here connecting the weapon to Minoru. It's okay if you don't see this, because if you don't see that, that means you only need to watch one memory after this step. If you do see that green line, then you can go ahead and watch 2 memories after this step. So I saw it, so I'm going to go ahead and watch 2 memories. And this part does need very precise timing, so if you just did it a little bit off, there's still a chance this may not work. So that's why I definitely recommend saving. So go ahead and watch the memories. You can go ahead and skip them. And then to see if it worked, we can just exit out. And as you see, when I exit out, it did indeed work. Because if it works, instead of going onto your back or just staying on the ground, it should teleport behind Minoru and then just fall to the ground. And if that happened, that means that did indeed work. So from here, you can go ahead and pick up the bow. And then you'll notice something interesting. If we go in here and dismiss Minoru, you should see the bow actually disappear. If that happens, that means you're doing everything right. Now, what you're going to go ahead and do is, as I said before, drop the 5-shot bow. So you're going to need one. Go ahead and drop it. And then from here, go ahead and pick up that bow. And on your back, it should look like you have equipped your 5-shot bow. But when you go into your inventory, it says you're still holding the Demon's King bow. But what's interesting is that by doing this, we actually just gave the Demon King's bow 5 shots. So go ahead and equip your 5-shot bow that you just dropped to the ground. Make sure not to do anything with the Demon King's bow, so just go ahead and equip this. And then you can go back in here and equip the Demon King's bow once again. And just like that, this is how we do indeed give our strong bow's 5-shot. So this is basically a 60 damage bow, and it has a 5-shot burst, so basically times that by 5, and that's how much damage we're going to be doing. And this isn't over yet, because we can indeed increase the damage a lot more even further. And just by the way, if you want to do this with the Royal Guard's bow, you basically repeat all the steps we just did, but just with that bow instead. It's pretty much the same. So yeah, if you want to, you can go ahead and test this out. It is pretty cool because it does indeed shoot 5 shots instead of 1. But what you will indeed know is kind of weird. It shoots it like at a very wide angle, so they're very spread out. So that's why when fighting an enemy, you're going to want to make sure you're like really up close to it. But if we want to increase the damage even further, we're going to need 2 specific armor sets. Well, not really 2, you can just pick between the one. You're either going to need the Radiant Armor set, which should look like this. I believe you can get this in Puerto Rico Village, and you will indeed have to upgrade it with a Great Fairy. Or you can pick the other armor set, which you can use is the Evil Spirit armor. This is what I'm going to be using instead, because I just prefer it a little more. But what you'll basically know is it says it has a set bonus, and it says Bone Weep. What this basically does is that any item that's fused to our bow that is a bone. So for example, if I fuse a Gibdo bone to my bow, the Bone Weep basically increases this even more. That's why we're not fusing a Lionel Horn instead. So yeah, this will then do even more damage when we're by an enemy. And then to increase that even further, you can go ahead and get out a cooking pot. And then go ahead and cook 5 Mighty Bananas. And by doing this, this should give you an attack up dish. So this will then basically increase your attack even more. So I'd recommend cooking a couple of them. So we can go ahead and test this. Make sure you've eaten the attack up meal. Then find some sort of boss like a Hinox. Fuse the bones to your bow, and then get up close and shoot it, and then that should basically one-shot it and kill it in one hit. And yeah, that's pretty much can show you that this bow is extremely powerful. Now we can even take this another step further and duplicate the bow. In order to do this, we are going to need Mineru again, and we're going to do a similar process as last time. So go ahead and save the game, just in case you mess up. And now go ahead and get on top of Mineru. And what you're going to do is get a bow. Make sure it's kind of like a bad bow that you don't really care about, and it's pretty easy to get. We're basically going to turn this into our Demon King's bow that has a 5-shot burst. So go ahead and drop that bow on the ground. And then we're going to do the same thing as we did last time, where we press Y and plus almost at the same time. Just like that, and then we can go ahead and watch 2 memories. And as you see, the bow did indeed just fall off the back, kind of like last time. So then go ahead and pick up the bow and then dismiss Mineru. Now, what we're going to do is basically go ahead and drop the Demon King bow, which is the bow we want to duplicate. Then go ahead and pick it up. And as you see before, it kind of looks like we're doing almost the same thing, where we're putting the stats on the other bow. But now the next step is that instead of equipping our Demon King's bow, we actually just want to go ahead and just drop our donor weapon. And it should just drop out as the Demon King's bow. We can go ahead and pick it up, and just like that, we now officially have 2 Demon King's bows that have a 5-shot burst. So yeah, that is pretty much the whole glitch. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much it for today, guys. I hope this was really helpful for you, and now you won't have any problems killing tons of enemies, since you'll pretty much have an extremely overpowered bow. But if this was helpful, please leave a like and subscribe, because it'll help out a ton. But anyways, guys, bye, and see you in the next one.